Anyway, go on then. Pissing me off. She doesn't listen to a thing that I say. She's been putting a little bit more weight on it, but I don't like her keep jumping up on the sofa because you're not supposed to be doing that. She hasn't got a full ACL tear. She's only torn it a little bit, and I don't want it to go the whole way. Because that will be a £5,000 to £6,000 operation. And as you know, I can't get insurance for her at the minute, so that would have to come out of my back pocket. And I'm due to move house in the next month or two. So I don't really want to be paying £5,000 for her surgery. Where the fuck did I put that? It's Zai, because you had it last, bud. Where is it gone? You can't stay in here either, buddy, when I'm not in here, because you eat stuff which you're not supposed to eat because you're a naughty boy, so you can't be in mum's room on your own anymore. Okay, that was what I was looking for. Right, come on, out. Thank you. Keep moving. Out. Get. Thank you. Shut the door. Actually, let me get my other phone too. No, that's downstairs. You're not going in there, buddy. You can't be trusted, and you eat chocolate when nobody's watching you, so you're like a child. So I loved my house. I love this house, but I'll be so fucking for real. It's just a little bit too expensive for me on my own. So obviously when I first moved, I didn't have a broken leg. And I don't know if people know, there's only so much that you get help with, because I've got 3 bedrooms. I don't get 3 bedrooms worth of help, if that makes sense. So I can't. I want to go somewhere cheaper. Plus, Zora, you're really actually irritating, mate. I want to move somewhere. What are you eating? With dog walking, a bit better dog walking near me. God. But yeah, no, I haven't found anywhere yet. But yeah, it's just too expensive for me, for one person. It was fine when I first moved, like I said, because I was working and everything, but it's just becoming a bit too much for me. And let's be so for real, I don't really need 3 bedrooms. I just had 3 bedrooms because it was what I got at the time. No, you're not. You're so needy. It's just small. It's small. It's just tiny. But up the Tewin, although I hate my hometown because they're a bunch of busybodies. Up the Tewin. Right, I need to invite Casey in here. How do I co-host with her? I'm not good at this shit. Here we go. I'm not being my friend.
Hello.
There we go. I figured it out.
Yay.
I was just, whoa, I'm dropping my phone. Everyone was like, who's Casey? I was like, I'm going to let her introduce her story herself.
Yes. It looks like my boards went away, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't see them either.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. He's okay, Breely. Just been watching his tablet. So, do you want me to do a story time?
Yeah, take the mic.
Hashtag free bug, by the way.
Hashtag free bug.
This is my baby. So I do have story times on my page that you can go over and watch, but just the gist of it. He was 17 at the time. He's 19 now. He's still in the county jail. He's never gotten a bond. He was charged with capital unaliving because he was at a park one day selling plates and stuff with his girlfriend's family for her cheerleading fundraiser. And next to the park is an apartment complex that they kind of go together, but they're about half a football field away from each other. And there were previous issues with the person who was unalived's cousin and my son's girlfriend's family that lives in the apartments. So it all stems from that, but had absolutely nothing to do with Bug. Yeah, Breely, you can put the stuff in the comments now if you want to, since the boxes went away. But so the guy who the beef was with my son's girlfriend's family is he likes kids. I forgot what you have to call that on here. But anyways, that's what it come from. And that he called his cousin out there essentially to fight his battles. And his cousin came out there with his girlfriend / baby mama and brought 2 pew-pews. And the reason it's capital unaliving is because they left their 3 children in the car in the parking lot of the apartments where everything happened. So because he had a biological child under the age of 14 with him, they were able to make it capital so that they could hold him and, not give him a bond or anything. So the guy who was unalived pew-pewed my son's girlfriend's uncle, who was trying to defend the 13-year-old little boy that the cousin had asked to see his privates. So it's a whole long story. I go into it way more on my page. But anyways, so the guy who was unalived pew-pewed this guy after a little fight broke out. And he still had his pew-pew and was continuing to try to use it on other people. And his girlfriend also had one, and it got knocked out of her hand. So my son, allegedly, because I've never talked to my son about it, picked it up from the ground and stopped the other guy from unaliving anyone else or pew-pewing anyone else. And unfortunately, he lost his life being stopped from what he was doing. So my baby, who did not leave the scene, stayed there, waited on police, got charged with capital unaliving, and he's never left. I've never been able to visit him in person. No talk of trial, nothing. So we started trying to raise funds for his attorneys because the court-appointed attorneys, okay, Breely, it's fine. It may be because we're on with somebody right now. Mm-hmm. The court-appointed attorneys were doing absolutely nothing for him. So on here, we were able to raise over $10,000 and hire private attorneys, which we have now, but we still have to pay like $37,000. I think it was a total of 50, and we've gotten it now down to 30-something thousand. And they have entered the case as of just 2 or 3 weeks ago. So hopefully a lot of things will start changing. They have put in some motions, and they have visited Bug twice. So we don't go back to court until July unless something changes with the motions, and we have to go back. But as of right now, it's just a standstill, and it's been almost 2 years. His junior year, he would be graduating this year, which has been very hard for me. They graduate in a couple weeks, and obviously he will not be graduating or walking with his class. So that's been very difficult. But yeah, that's the gist of it. It's a much longer story. Everything's on video. All the evidence is on video. So, it's not like you should believe me kind of thing. It's like, it's literally all on video. But we just haven't been to court or anything, and it's very difficult.
Can you see my comments, Casey? Because people are asking, why are you not able to visit? Capital murder for that is insane.
So I'm not able to visit because the sheriff at Limestone County here where Bug is will not allow visitation. He only allows visits to work release and trustees, which is insane because one of his work release people just caught a new trafficking charge for bringing stuff into the jail. But that's who he allows visits instead of, the normal people who are stuck there every day with nobody. And my son has not been convicted of anything. So, yeah. And I've called the FBI. I've talked to the sheriff multiple times. I've called literally every single body. He blames it on COVID. And there are no COVID restrictions. There have not been in years. He told me to take it up with the CDC, so I did. I went to them. I went to our State Department of Public Health. I talked to the FBI. I've talked to everybody. And that's when he started allowing visits for the trustees and work release, I guess, because he got in trouble. But he still doesn't allow visits for anybody else, in-person visits. So I've only seen him in court the 2 or 3 times we've been to court. And, of course, you can't get near him, talk to him or touch him. So that hasn't done any good. Yeah, basically. Yeah, they basically say he's the sheriff and his jail. He can do what he wants to do.
Wow, visits aren't a right, they're a privilege. He is just being a jerk. For sure.
Yeah, and if you Google that or use AI or something, it tells you that violates their constitutional and civil rights. But it's just nothing that we can do about it now. We can do video visits, but we tried that before, and all of the inmates were like walking behind him and trying to get in the camera, trying to talk, gawking at us and making comments and stuff. And he was like, yeah, that'll never happen again.
And you've got to remember, people, there's not really much that you can talk about on recorded lines and videos. Like,
Nope.
You have to be so careful.
It's all, yep, it's all recorded. He can lose his chirp if anything is specifically, if anything is said. And I forget how many people like don't know that it's 2026 and things change. But when I post a video and say something about him texting me, they're like, oh, so you're admitting he's got contraband. I'm calling the jail. I hope he gets caught. And I'm like, the jail literally provides it because they want our money.
Right? They are money hungry.
Yes.
Everything is about money there. The tablets, the phone calls, the commissary, if you get in-person visits, everything is about money for them.
Yep. That's another reason they want to do everything on video too, is because you have to pay for that.
What state?
Alabama. Yeah. Yeah, we're in Alabama.
I just find it barbaric that there's so many different rules for each state. Nothing is the same. Like, it's one rule for one, another for another, and you can't do anything because you're fighting the system. They're not going to admit that they're wrong, so nothing's going to change. You can scream and shout as loud as you want.
Yep, and it won't do any good. I guess the only good thing to come from being in Alabama, okay, Breely, is county by county, yes, is that we are a stand your ground law. So we're hoping something comes from that in the long run. But oh, how pretty! Thank you. If we were one county over, he would have never been charged with what he's charged with, right? Also, if he was white, he would have never been charged with it. He would have went home. And everybody tells me that if he'd have been white, he would have went home with me that day and nothing. He would have never been charged for anything. Also, I think it's important to note, and I do note it in my other story times, is that 911 started being called an hour before the fight ever even broke out.
Wow.
And they never came until it was too late. Make a new goal. I don't know if I can do that while I'm on here.
Yeah, my things is like my screen is different when I go host with somebody else. Like,
it takes it away. Yeah. Right, Michelle. Yeah, self-defense is not a crime. Stand your ground. The stand your ground law here in Alabama says that you have the right to stand your ground for not only yourself but the people around you. If it's oh, how cute. If it's a must.
If he didn't do what he did either, God knows how many other lives would have been lost.
And if the guy that was on his back running away from the guy had not been on his back on the ground running away from him, he would have been unalived. But instead, he was trying to get away from him, so he was pew-pewed through the leg. So, but he was still on somebody else. They were fighting him for his pew-pew, and he was still trying to pew-pew people. I hate having to say these words on here.
So he said, does he still speak to the girlfriend and the family? And can we all make sure that we're following Casey? We're trying to get her to 20K.
Yes, thank you. We're almost Please there. Do that.
Please make sure you go and follow.
I have 19,200.
So make sure you go and follow.
Yes, he does still talk to his girlfriend. She's in college now. His family's at court dates, and of course they've had to, get on the stand and stuff as witnesses because it was his girlfriend's uncle who was pew-pewed by the guy before he was unalived. So, and it was her little brother that was 13 years old at the time that the cousin who likes kids was trying to see his private parts, which is what even made this fight happen, a week later. Again, I tell more about that in my story times, but none of it had anything to do with my son. He got in the end when the whole fight broke out because, everybody got moved over to that side. But he was just trying to protect himself and other people. The actual fight and leading up to it had nothing to do with him. They were out there selling plates for a fundraiser that day for her cheerleading.
I just can't believe it's been 2 years with no movement.
No movement whatsoever. Nothing.
Like the trauma that he's seen, that he's endured, and then you have to go in a place where it's hostile. You're not allowed to show any emotions.
Yeah, it's very hostile because he tells me stuff sometimes when he can't sleep, and what he's describing to me, I can tell that the people he's talking about are schizophrenic. He does not understand that, but they just like scream all day, fight the air all day. So thank you, Breely. Can you moderate right there, please? So we didn't know anything about a speedy trial. Oh, how cute. Thank you. We didn't know anything about a speedy trial until I started posting here on TikTok. And when I Googled it, it said that most of the times in the beginning that the attorneys will ask to waive the right for that so that they have time to investigate and make a case. So we guess that's what happened. Bug said he's never signed anything or heard anything about waiving his rights. So we're assuming the first attorneys did that.
He's just barbaric. He's just a baby.
Yeah. And a lot goes on in there, obviously, that he's not used to. And I know he has PTSD. I can tell by the way he talks. So, and stuff he says. So there will be lots of therapy when he comes home. He also has to watch what he says on the phone, though, about like needing any kind of mental help or anything, because they will literally throw them in the ward thinking, that they're going to do something to themselves. So then he gets thrown away and stuck by himself, So he has to bottle it all up. He really can't talk about it. And he can't talk about it to, thank you, Mallory, to the therapist there, because the first time she come and tried to talk to him, she tried to talk to him about details in the case, and he was like, I'm not supposed to talk about that. Right. So now when she comes around, he's just like, no, I'm good. Yeah. So he can't talk to her either.
That's awful. Somebody said, how long did he get? He has not got anything yet.
No, he hasn't been convicted. He hasn't gotten any time. There's not even been a slight discussion of even the word trial. We've not done any of that.
He's been away for 2 years now.
Almost 2 years, yep.
2 years. With nothing.
Yep, and it's been really hard lately because he would be graduating this year. This would be his senior year. No, it could be anywhere from 2, 3, 4 years. No, nobody knows. They don't get in a hurry over here, and they say that no, he has not had any appearance to enter a plea. They have not even talked about pleas. We've only, and the court date in July is another status hearing, which is just the judge, talking to the attorneys about what they've got and what they need. We don't even have another actual court date. We're just sitting around. But this would have been his senior year. It happened in the next month after he started his junior year. It happened in September. They started school in August, so he lost his junior and senior year.
The most vital years. Ugh.
Yeah. Yep, the best part of school. He'll be getting his education when he comes home, of course, but it's still not the same as graduating at school and walking with your class and all that good stuff.
He's crazy. He's a baby. Someone said 2 years. He needs to be home with his mom for sure. Like, whew.
Right.
Somebody said, can you put the link for the GoFundMe so if people want to support?
We don't have a GoFundMe because GoFundMe, it's against their policies to raise money for someone who's been charged with a violent crime. But we do have a Give, Send, Go fundraiser. Brooke, are you in here? Can you link that fundraiser link? I think she is. We do have a Give, Send, to Go, and on Give, Send, to Go, the account is set up directly. There it is, directly to the attorney's account. It has the attorney's name and like their business link. And America is scary. Yes, very. Does his new legal team sound optimistic? Are they? Oh yeah, they're so ready. And they actually kind of contacted us through all the social media. And once we, went to them and retained them and all that stuff and talked to him, he was like, "Oh, I wanted so much more than I thought I did." He is definitely ready to fight. And it has to be two in a capital case. So it's two really good attorneys. Yes, the link is in my bio. If you actually want to click on the link.
I have followed. Hope this helps. Every follow, share, repost, like, you know the deal, guys. Everything helps. Getting awareness to the case.
Yes.
Making people aware of what's happening. You don't know that other people might be going through the same thing.
Oh, I have saw so many people, and it breaks my heart. So many mothers contact me. Yes, Brooke. So many people contact me, and one lady contacted me, literally broke my heart. Her son was 13 years old when he got locked up and charged as an adult for kind of the same crime. But if the story is legit, there was a guy coming at him with something he would have poked him with, and he did what he had to do for them to get away from him. I don't know. I don't understand the system. It literally sucks. I don't know.
The visits for me is just, that's what gets me every single time, that they're not allowing visits.
Yep.
It's just the mental for me as well. These boys' frontal lobes have not even developed properly yet. And now you're in a place where you're surrounded by criminals. You're shoulder to shoulder with probably some of the worst people in society. What does that do to a young child? Like,
Yep. And he is a child. And people on some of my videos, they'll be like, post pictures of him like now, not as a child. He was a child. This was a month before it happened. This is the picture I post, and a couple more. He is a child.
somebody says, what, is he not allowed a visit from his mom? And they're asking how old he is.
He's 19 now. It happened September of 2024, and in January he turned 18, and this January he just turned 19. So he's 19 now.
Hello, baby. Make sure you're following Casey too. Yes, please, Erin. I'm going to pin your comment.
Yes, thank you so much.
But
yeah, he is a child. He was 17. So like, what was the last question? I don't know, Brooke. I don't remember. That was quick. Thank you for the rose, Breely. I don't know what the last
Yes,
question
I will do that actually. Please, I'll do the battle thing, but send all the gifts to Casey. Thank you. Don't send them to me. Send them all to Casey.
Oh, I love this.
We can raise money that way.
I have only accidentally battled somebody one time. And before you come on, I invited some freaking man in on accident, trying to figure out how to go and invite you. I do not know how to do this TikTok thing, but we was on live one night and I accidentally invited these little girls in. They popped in. They were like in the bed eating chips and chilling, and they just launched a battle. I was terrified. I couldn't get them out. I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out.
All the gifts to Casey's side, please. It's all going to Bugs, fundraiser.
Yes, I now have 19,300 followers. Yay! Yeah, Brooks, thank you. Brooks going to buy me a 20K cake. So, yeah, it was hilarious to y'all, Breely, not to me. It was not fun at all. So, I guess when you're on here like this, you just can't put stuff on your screen.
I guess that's really annoying.
Yeah, it completely went away.
Capital murder, yes, crazy. And it sounds horrific. It sounds so scary when you say capital murder. And then when you actually listen to the story, it's like,
Yep. And everybody's like, no, thank you. There had to be more to it. The only way for it to be capital was if he was I don't know if I can say that word, like committing another felony. And I'm like, no, look it up. Because it started as only the M word. But then when they realized that he had kids, that he brought his three kids with him, left them in a car in a parking lot while he got out with one pew, and then his baby mama got out with the other. They were able to raise it to capital because he had children out there.
Insane.
Thank you.
What's the story I missed?
You don't. It's not only if you're committing a felony while you're doing it. But I don't get how it even was if it wasn't his. I know, we don't know either. Thank you. But no, my son did not have one of those. He's never had one of those. And like I said, everything's on video. So you can see when the guy who was unalived backs up and pulls his and pews the guy that was on the ground. And then you can see when his baby mama gets hers knocked out of her hands because she's like waving it into the crowd of the fight with about 25 to 30 kids outside.
See, I don't understand how they were never done for anything. Like
Me either. We've tried and tried and tried to get her charged with something. Child endangerment. They brought those pews onto a government funded property. Oh my God, how cute. Thank you. I mean, there's so many. I feel like she should be charged with attempted unaliving on the person that he pewed because she gave him the pew to get out of the car with. Thank you.
And it was premeditated.
No, we have our kids with us. Maybe we should just go home.
Yeah, exactly. Did they come back? Did they leave the scene and come back? So it's premeditated. You went to get a weapon.
Yes. And when he asked her for that pew and got out of the car with it, that was full intent. He intended to do what he did. You can't tell me you were going to a man-to-man fight if you've got to get that out of the vehicle with you. Nobody else had one. Even when he stood up from the fight, which, by the way, he was winning the whole time, he could have walked away and gotten his car and left. But no, he backed up, pulled that out, and pewed somebody. No, they're black. Everybody was black. The only person that had white in them that day was my son.
It was Bug.
Yeah, was Bug. Everybody else in the whole crowd, apartments, everywhere, everybody was black.
How old were the kids that were in the car? Because I can't imagine that they were even watching.
One was like 13. Oh, can I say that on here? Maybe. I don't know. And then like on down, one of them was like a baby. And then like 13 and probably 9 or 10 maybe.
And
they left them in a car in the parking lot by themselves. And even in the poor son's statement, in court, he didn't see the actual unaliving, thank God, but he was in the vicinity, and that's all that matters. Legally, the law.
Jake said, why did her son not throw hands? I think when people have pews in your face, your hands aren't really going to be a match to a pew, are they?
Right. So in the videos, my son is over in the side because he beat up the person who likes kids over in the corner, and the other guy who was unalived was over here fighting somebody else. Then my son finishes that fight, and the guy who likes kids who brought his cousin out there that day ran and left because Bug beat him up. Then Bug comes around the corner, walking around the corner. Then the first pewing happened. So once pews come out, your hands don't really do you any good. So
nothing.
Everybody was using their hands until the guy who was unalived pulled out his pew and pewed somebody.
There was 2 pews involved, yes. And somebody says, why was her son near these people?
Why was he what?
Why was he there?
They were selling plates for his girlfriend's fundraiser, and the 13-year-old boy and his uncle who got pew-pewed by the guy who was unalived first, had walked over there when the guy who was unalived left and his girlfriend left. They went to get clothes and stuff because they were leaving, and that's when the guy who was unalived and his baby mama come back, and he got out of the car and went straight for them and punched the 13-year-old boy in his face and said, "Why in the F are you lying on my cousin?" And that's when the fight broke out that made everybody come to that spot. That's when everything else happened. And I tell all that in my other story times.
Yeah. Make sure you're following Casey, because she's got pinned story times that are way more in depth and longer and stuff. So make sure you go over there and check them all out, just so you can get familiarized with the story, repost it, share it, like, comment, all of that stuff.
Thank you. And I've got update videos and stuff too about the attorneys. And I will continue to make update videos, as stuff changes in the case, which will hopefully be soon.
Jake says that there's a lot more to the story. It's literally on camera.
Yeah. And what I'm telling you is exactly what happened. And it is all on video. We have been the ones as a family that collected every bit of the evidence and gave it to the attorneys. Trust me. And you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. To me, that doesn't matter. The people who matter do believe. But it is video evidence proof. Yes.
Did her son mean to shoot the person? He was in self-defense at that time.
Right.
I mean, as a child,
it was not his pew-pew. He
scary.
did not carry around a pew-pew.
And you've got to think, as a child, as a baby, if you are around grown people fighting with pew-pews, that must have been an extraordinarily scary situation to be in. Your adrenaline. And I don't like people that judge, because you've never been in that situation. What would you have done in that situation? Your girlfriend is there, so you also want to be the man to protect your girlfriend.
And it was his girlfriend's uncle who was pew-pewed to begin with. And then it was his girlfriend's stepfather who was trying to get the pew-pew away from the guy who was still trying to unalive people when he was pew-pewed. So all of it was my son's family. He looked at that man like his father and, a father figure. And then it was her uncle who had been pew-pewed first. My son didn't know if he was living or not, after he had got pew-pewed.
It's so scary.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. I hate the system. I hate how all that works. I hate not understanding it. I hate that it's so slow. But, there's literally nothing we can do but make sure that he's got the proper defense, He
had the right to defend himself. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And the people around him in Alabama. Oh, hi, Mrs. B. Yeah. I also have on one of the bracelets, #FreeBug. And this is Bug.
Trying him as an adult is so wrong. Trying him for capital murder and holding him for 2 years without anything is fucking wrong. Like, everything is wrong about this. Everything.
Yes, everything. Literally, yes. And he stayed there. He didn't leave. He was arrested at the scene. No craziness about that. All of that is on the cops,
He stayed as well. He didn't run away. He didn't do any of that. He stayed, waited for the police.
Yeah.
It's wild they don't have a time frame to take them to trial.
I know. Trust me, I know. No, they have not offered a plea. We have not done any of that. Nope. No actual court dates have happened yet. Just little BS ones is what I call them, because they last like 5 minutes and nothing happens. So, yeah.
Alabama and the person is of color. I think, that's a big...
and if you know anything about Alabama, the court-appointed attorneys they gave him was from Coleman, Alabama. And my son is a person of color. Coleman, Alabama still has signs up that people of color should not be there after dark. And I'm not even going to say what it says they will do to them. So they gave my son court-appointed attorneys outside of our county, way outside of our county, actually about almost an hour away from us. And he's a person of color. So I feel like that was intentional.
They know what they're
because
doing.
we have 3 attorneys here. Why are you saying what's a capital? I don't understand. Google, I guess. I don't know how somebody wouldn't know what capital M word is. You can Google it. I don't want to say it on here because you can't say certain words. But yeah, we have 3 perfectly capable attorneys in Limestone County, Alabama, who can take capital cases. So I feel like that was intentional. I feel like they were either like, deal with this and we'll deal with y'all, or you can figure out how to get new attorneys. And that's what we had to do.
It's sick. I appreciate all the gift scales, but for this live, can they all go over to Casey because they are going towards Bugs' costs of his attorneys and things like that. So
I
every
didn't know
little
that
helps.
people from your side hi, Miss Sassy, could send gifts to my side. Like I've been on people's lives and I didn't know. Well, I guess if they follow, I see what you're saying. I don't know how this thing works.
I'll chuck up another battle thing so that they can send them that way as well. But yeah, everything over that side. Make sure that you're following Casey, liking, reposting, all of that stuff on Bugs' account.
Thank you.
The more attention to this, obviously, the better.
Yeah.
The more
we don't have capital M in UK. That's why they might not know. Oh, I thought they were following. I thought they were from here. I'm sorry. Oh, well, that must be nice. So y'all just have the one?
We have manslaughter, or it's M, and that's about it. We do have something called an IPP sentence. So even if you are not the person that deletes the person, if you were there, you still get the same thing.
So it can mean just the M word with, like, say if somebody unalived somebody while they were committing another felony, like taking money from them while they, unalived them, or doing something to a woman before you unalive her, something like that would be a felony. It can up it to capital. But in our case with Bug, it can be also if the person who is unalived has a biological child under the age of 14 and, in the vicinity with them. So that's what Bug's case is. The guy who was unalived brought his children with him and left them out in the car in a parking lot while he got out with his pew-pew to fight somebody. So that's how they upped it in Bug's case.
Why would you bring your children to a place that you know that is about to be a hostile situation?
Right. Also, when you left, his girlfriend said they left to bust a block, and then he wanted to go back and fight. So once you left, why would you then, knowing that you had your 3 kids in the car with you?
Like, in my eyes, the baby mum could have taken the children away, and if he wanted to come back and be a man or whatever the hell he wanted to do, he could have come back by himself.
Yes.
And did whatever he wanted to do, but you decided to bring your baby mom, 3 children, and 2 weapons.
Yes. So I think I said something wrong earlier. Somebody just asked me, so there was no justice for the uncle who was unalived. He was not unalived. He was pew-pewed, but he was not unalived. Thank goodness. He did live. But I feel like the one who was unalived's baby mama should be charged with attempted unaliving for her part in it.
And premeditated as well.
Yes, and intent. Because you knew when you got out with those that, what you were about to do with them. Yes, they brought the weapons. Yes, nobody else had one.
And there was fisticuffs first as well. It wasn't just a straight,
Yes, and 911 had started being called an hour before the fight ever broke out. So was the non-emergency number. Oh, so 911 here is our emergency number. But so was the non-emergency number. They kept telling everybody calling that they couldn't send a cop until something actually happened. So, thank you for the roses. Yes, all of that is also on recording. All of that is screenshotted. All of that. That's already been brought into court. The 911 that calls and stuff. But the reason they didn't actually come is because that apartment complex is like all people of color, and there are fights and stuff out there all the time, and they really just didn't want to go out there because they didn't want to deal with it that day.
Such a sad
So,
story. It really is.
because if they had came when they were called, they could have ran him off.
Yeah.
They could have broke up the whole thing, and he would have been gone home somewhere. The fundraising would have never stopped. The selling the plates. My son's girlfriend's grandfather rented that park that day that was close to the apartment complex to sell plates for the fundraiser. Yes, that's proven too through the rec center. Like, we have everything. Right. None of it would have happened if they had ever showed up. That's right.
Why the need to say all people of color? Because it's part of the story. You're in Alabama, which is an extremely racial profiling state, so it's a big part of the story.
Yes, it
A big,
is.
huge part. Unfortunately, it's fact. It's not just hearsay or something to say. It's
Yep.
factual. Unfortunately.
It is. Yep.
Thank you for the gifts, girlies, but can we send them to Casey because it's going towards Bug's attorney fund and getting him home?
Yep, that's just how it works here. Unfortunately, it is black and white here. It is about color, especially in the in our cute, thank you, in our police system, whatever you would call it. It's bad here.
Someone's asking, does her son have guilt?
I've never been able to talk to him about the situation over the phone. We have still yet to even be able to talk to him about it at all. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to say he feels. I don't know. But to have guilt for something that you did because you had to not be unalived, I don't know. I have to say I wouldn't. Are the free bug shirts for sale? Also, can I share the fundraisers? You can share any and everything you want to. And yes, the shirts are on Etsy. If you go to Etsy and just type in free bug shirts, they pop up, and they're in different colors and sizes. I love gray.
People have to remember as well, he was a child. So you've gone from an extremely traumatic situation where you're then chucked into prison, where you can't speak to anyone, you can't see or speak to your family. It's insane. Like, to ask him how he feels probably is not a great question. He probably doesn't even know how he feels.
Yeah, I just try to be positive and like try to help him as much mentally as I can without talking about details. I do know he has PTSD, and I do know he has nightmares about it because he has told me that. And I know that everything he says, I can tell that he has PTSD. He doesn't know that that word or anything, what that is, but I could tell by the way he talks and the nightmares that he has PTSD. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, share it anywhere and everywhere. Yeah. So I mean, I guess I don't really know how to answer that.
And you can't really talk for him. I mean, he can't talk for himself. He can't talk freely. I think that's what people have to remember as well. Everything is recorded. Everything could be used against him. They can take whatever he says and twist it. If he's caught on the phone saying to his mom, I'm struggling mentally, he can be put in isolation on his own.
Yep. Even one day I mentioned, I was like, we killing ourselves out here or something, like not even talking about that, but just talking about like working and, saving money, raising money or whatever to help him. And he told me, he was like, you can't say that. I'll get put in the hole if they think that, or if there's any talk about suicide or anything. So, and I wasn't even talking about that. I was just like talking about work, like killing myself at work. But, he can get in trouble for the smallest things. Thank you. So we have to be really careful about that, and can't visit him. So yeah, never been able to have the first conversation with him about it.
Can she visit? Only a video visit.
Yeah. But he doesn't like to do those because the inmates gawk at you and try to talk to you and talk over him. And yeah, no, he doesn't like that. We did it for Christmas year before last, like when he was first there. It happened in September. So that Christmas, we did a video live as a family to do Christmas.
Is he in with other adults?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was like the worst week or so of my life when he turned old enough to get put in general population. Yes.
I can't even imagine.
Because the sheriff says no, Rosie. Sheriff doesn't allow in-person visitation. Yeah, he's in general population now. And obviously everybody's, well, not now, obviously, that everybody's older than him, but because they're, 19-year-olds who go to jail every day. But when he first got in general population, everybody was well older than him.
That must be so terrifying as well.
It's very terrifying to me.
I'm an
very.
adult and I would be terrified being around other people like that.
And they're crazy. Like, I can hear people screaming all the time in the background, just about whatever. I don't know. But I think for the most part in Limestone County, they try to act as decent as they can. Yeah, no in-person visits for anybody except for work release and trustees, which is crazy because one of the work release people just got a new trafficking charge for bringing something into the jail. Thank you, but that's who he
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but I think for the most part they try to act right so they don't get thrown in a hole somewhere. Thank you. But some of them just can't act right. I hear them all the time.
And you've got to think, if a lot of them are not having visits and things like that, you're probably going a little bit crazy in there.
Yeah, none of them have visits. Nobody in the general population has visits because they keep the work release and trustees somewhere else. Hey, Katie. So everybody where Buggy is, none of them get visits.
And what can that do to a person's mental health? That's
especially
insanity.
a child.
It's insanity. It's actually insanity.
He's a big people person. He's very outgoing, very extroverted, loves his family, and always wants to be gone somewhere with a bunch of people. So it's very hard for him. Yes.
And for somebody that's had no run-in with the law, never been in trouble, never done anything, for that to be the first time you get in trouble, that is a hell of a thing.
Yes. Thank you for the follow.
Yeah, please do follow.
That was probably the worst part of it. The hardest part of it is going from nothing to capital unaliving. I'm sorry you're going through it, Rosie. Yeah, I was talking earlier about how when we first started talking about it and everything, all of the mothers who contacted me, that just breaks my heart to know that so many people are going through the same thing. And people don't understand that no matter what they did, when they did it, or how they did it, they are still our children. Like, you're still their mother. They're still a child. They're still your baby, which, he's my third. He's my baby.
Hey, pack it in.
Oh, thank you for stalking my page, Lisa Marie. Thank you. Yes, it is a nightmare. Like, they are still our children. So
even if your child does something wrong, as a mother, you still sometimes support your child anyway. So let's not pass judgment on that. Like, come on.
Yeah. And people do, believe it or not, people do. Yeah.
Like, unless you have been put in that situation yourself, I think it's very hard to cast a judgment on what somebody should or shouldn't be doing or how they should or shouldn't feel.
Yeah.
Like, how would you feel if your child was helpless in a extremely hostile place where you can't even go and see him? Imagine how distressing that is. I just can't even imagine.
And it's like, one day he literally was just ripped away. He went from a 17-year-old who I was still cooking breakfast, packing lunch for school, picking up after wrestling or, football practice, whatever, to literally gone. Uh-oh. I think our animals are getting in trouble.
Yeah, they were. I was about to.
Yeah. So yeah, he literally was just stripped away in a matter of seconds. I was at home cleaning my house, like just a normal day. Me and my daughter were spring cleaning. And I walk outside to a bunch of cop trucks and a cop walking toward me holding a big AK-47. They thought people were going to come to our house. They were coming to pick me up. And I had to call my son-in-law to come with my daughter because I had to go with them. They didn't tell me for like an hour and a half, even if it was my son who was unalived or not. They just said somebody had been unalived and I had to go with them. And there were trucks surrounding the house with cops standing outside of their trucks with huge weapons, not little ones. So that was terrifying.
And you guys have got to remember as well, this was stemmed from a positive situation. So Bug was raising money for his girlfriend's, I think it's cheerleading, wasn't it? Cheerleading thing. So he wasn't there to be an aggressor, or he wasn't there to be in a fight. He wasn't there to be doing anything but raising money for his girlfriend. So as well, remember that.
Yep, her granddaddy rented that pavilion that day and was cooking to sell plates for the cheerleading fundraiser. That's why all of them, her whole family was there. And we have on videotape where the person who was unalived and his cousin who likes kids was walking back and forth to the park trying to fight them, yelling and trying to fight them. And the granddaddy's like, go away, leave the kids alone, leave my grandkids alone, just go away. Nobody wants to fight y'all. That happened for an hour while 911 was calling before a fight ever even broke out.
So realistically, if the police had have done what they were asked to have been done, we wouldn't even be in this situation where somebody was deleted.
Yep.
But they won't admit to that. Of course, it's the police. How can you fight the system?
Yeah, Lisa. I definitely understand that because I have to watch my baby. When he's brought in court with the other inmates, he's not handcuffed the same. He's like shackled, arms, feet, and everything, and brought in separate. And for a while, they would put tarps over his head and bring him in an F-150 instead of the police van, which was supposedly for his protection. And he wasn't old enough yet at the time, but it was still absolutely terrifying to watch. And they snuck him in and out of the courthouse.
Just to think how.
Well, it wouldn't be. Oh. Yeah. I don't know, Mrs. B, possibly. Yes. He does still talk to his girlfriend. She's in college right now.
Thank you for all the likes, Erin. I see you. We appreciate it. Trying to get Casey to 20k, and I know that I've got followers full of prison wives, mums, dads, girlfriends, brothers, sisters, whatever they are. So if we could all go
300 right now.
Yay!
Thank you, Lisa.
So we're not far from the 20k, and Casey's getting a cake made for her at 20k as well. So let's get her to the 20k.
And I hope to catch it on live. I know that might be difficult because I might be at work or asleep. I was somewhere when I hit 10k and wanted to be live. So I hope I can catch it on live, but I may not be able to.
Somebody said, what are your next steps to get him out?
Just continuing to raise the funds for the attorneys, and wait for the court dates.
That's the problem with America. Everything is on their timing. There's nothing that you can do to speed this up. It's just on them. And that's the most frustrating thing I think I've ever experienced working with somebody. They've got no sense of urgency. They don't care.
At all.
Bug, unfortunately, is just another number to them. Unfortunately.
Yep, I know. And more funds for that tablet and all the things. Yeah. That stuff is so expensive, and but I can't not do it, obviously. I keep as much as I can on his tablet because he watches his anime and all that good stuff. And it keeps him in his cell, away from everybody else. So, and of course, call and text.
Somebody says, can you file a motion to get house arrest pending trial? We have a right to speedy trial.
Yeah, we've when we had one of the bond hearings, we spoke about, doing house arrest or whatever, but that bond hearing was denied again because of the capital charge. Nobody in Limestone County has ever been given bond with a capital charge. Yeah, we've tried. So until that capital charge is dropped, he won't ever even have a bond. Nope. That's why they did it. That's why they added that charge. They rearrested him at the jail like 2 days after it happened to charge him with the capital. Like, the judge was mad the next day. We went to court the next morning for the arraignment, and the judge was looking at the paperwork, and he was like, why was this done last night? Why did I not know anything about this, and I'm just now finding out? So that was the juvenile judge. We ended up, we had to go to an adult judge after that.
Wish I could help. Somebody said it's so sad. Everybody can help by following, liking, sharing, raising awareness to the cause.
Yes.
That is help enough. So just continue to do that every time.
Yeah, they do overcharge, so that in the end, whatever they offer, you will be begging for it, and it will make them look good as if they've done something. They just don't know that they've messed with a completely psychotic mother, and we will take this to the end, and they will regret that they ever did this to my child. Not in a physically harming way, obviously.
The legal route, thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody said, could you briefly explain for the people that have just joined or don't know?
Yes, and I also have story times that will make it make more sense, because there were so many people involved that it's a lot. When I say it, you're going to be like, what? Who did what and why? So my son was 17 at the time, and he was at, yes, the attorneys are hopeful. He was at a pavilion at a park that is connected to an apartment complex that's about a half football field away from each other. And he was there with his girlfriend's family, raising funds and cooking and selling plates, raising funds for her cheerleading fundraiser. About a week prior to that, though, and his girlfriend's family lived in the apartment complex. That's important. And about a week prior, the cousin who invited his cousin out there to do the fighting likes kids. I can't say much on here, but he had asked to see my son's girlfriend's 13-year-old little brother's private areas about a week before everything happened. So there was some beef between his girlfriend's family and the guy who likes kids and his girlfriend. So they were there selling plates, and the guy who was unalived and the cousin who likes kids kept coming back and forth to the playground trying to fight. The granddaddy's running them off, telling them to go away, and all this is on video. And then the guy who was unalived and his girlfriend left with their 3 kids in the car with them. So when they left, my son's girlfriend's little brother and his uncle walked over to the apartment complex to get clothes and stuff because they were leaving. Well, the guy who was unalived come back, and his baby mama and 3 kids. They left their 3 kids in the car in the parking lot by themselves of the apartments, and he got out. The guy who was unalived got out, walked straight to the 13-year-old and punched him in the face and said, why are you effing lying on my cousin? Which is the guy who likes kids. So then, of course, his uncle who was with him started fighting the person who was unalived. Mind you, the person who was unalived was a very big man, the biggest man out there, 3 times bigger than the person he was fighting, winning the fight the whole time. It's all on video. There's 25 to 30 people out there, about 80% of them being children under the age of 12. So they're fighting. The guy who was unalived is winning, stands up, and instead of leaving and getting in the car with his children, he pulled out his pew-pew from his waist and pew-pewed the uncle on the ground who was running, trying to get away from him because he was done with the fight. He just got his butt kicked. So meanwhile, my son is over in the corner on the video beating up the guy who likes kids because he tried to get into the fight. Then the guy who likes kids runs off. He runs away. And my son comes to walk around, and as he's walking around is when the guy who was unalived pew-pewed the uncle. So the guy who was unalived still had his pew-pew and was still trying to unalive people. Yes, he was under the influence. And at the same time he was doing that, his girlfriend had a pew-pew as well, and it got knocked out of her hand because people were afraid she was going to use it. And then the guy who was unalived is still trying to unalive people. And allegedly, because this part I've never been able to talk to my son about, allegedly, this is when my son picks up the gun, the pew pew from the girlfriend, and stops the man who was unalived from unaliving anyone else, because that is what he is still trying to do at the time. And unfortunately, the guy lost his life during that. Yes, it's all on recording, including the 911 calls, screenshots from the 911 calls, screenshots from the non-emergency number who told them they wasn't sending anybody until something actually happened. Everything. Everything. Them coming back and forth from the park, from the apartments to the park, trying to fight them. All that's on video. Yes. And he still was charged with capital unaliving.
Somebody says, what the fuck is up with America? Do you know, from a European hearing these stories, it's like, well, then why make it legal to conceal and carry? And then when actually people do use it in the way that you're supposed to, you then chuck them in jail. Like,
yes. Yeah, so in Alabama, we have the right to conceal and carry, but it doesn't have to be registered. Like, none of that matters here. So, because everybody says, stuff about, well, did they have their pew-pews legally, the person who was unalived and his girlfriend? Basically, yes, because here it doesn't matter.
Has he been convicted or just sitting waiting?
Yeah, he hasn't been convicted. They haven't even mentioned the word trial. Nope, not here. Not in Alabama, you don't.
That's insane.
Yep. So, and she had one and he had one.
And I think it's worse that he was intoxicated, because I think intoxicated people are even more dangerous, because your accuracy when you're using your pew-pew might not be as on point as if you were not intoxicated.
Also in Alabama, we are moving when he gets out. You're in Alabama, if you are intoxicated, you cannot claim self-defense if you use a firearm. So they cannot claim self-defense for him because he was intoxicated when he used his pew-pew.
When he said, how old is Bug? Bug was 17 at the time and he's 19.
Hi, Brooke's back. Yeah, he's 19 now. He was 17 when it happened.
Somebody says, take it as a racist state. Alabama's South, aren't you guys?
Very racist state, yes. This is my baby.
I think Casey mentioned earlier, in Alabama, there's still signs up that if you are black,
a person of color, you should not be there after dark. No, my son was not intoxicated. No, my child did not drink or do any type of drugs. He's terrified of stuff like that. No, the guy who was unalived, who did the first pew-pewing, was intoxicated. Right, Michelle? Yeah, no, my son, no, he didn't do any of that.
He was literally just there to support his girlfriend.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. He wasn't even involved in any of the stuff in the prior week where they had been like arguing back and forth in the apartments, about the guy who likes kids and stuff. He wasn't even a part of any of that. None of it had anything to do with him except for protecting.
Somebody said earlier up there, I don't know if that is a thing, can you start a petition to get the capital unaliving gone and reduced to M? Is there a petition?
I would love to. I wouldn't know how to do that, but I would love to. Racism is still here, sad but true. One of the main reasons I started homeschooling my kids. Yeah. So Tammy is from here. She knows Bug, her son, and Bug have always been friends. They went to school together too. Yeah, and her kids are white. Well, one of them. So, but yes, she understands. He inserted himself into a situation that makes it not self-defense. That's not true. In Alabama, stand your ground. You have a right to stand your ground for yourself and people around. In Alabama, you do not have to retreat. You have the right to stand your ground.
What would you do if a drunk adult and you're a child is waving around a pew-pew in your face? What would you do in that situation? Just stand there and do nothing? Like,
Yeah, a lot of people think that, like, okay, so if he had ran and everybody else ran, so then the baby mama has a pew pew again, and the guy who was unalived has a pew pew, so that makes probably 5 to 10 people out there would have been unalived. Yes, that is what stand your ground means. Look it up in Alabama. Our stand your ground is different than other people's. Look up stand your ground law in Alabama and then come back. Bye.
I think as people have to remember that as well. Each state is completely different when it comes to charging, the systems, the policies, everything.
Yes, it is.
It's all different everywhere. So, yeah.
Yes.
I had a husband that was in the Michigan Department of Corrections, and it was nothing like what Casey is describing. It's
So
complete. All
different.
the rules are different in Michigan to Alabama to Texas to California to wherever. It's completely different.
So different.
One rule for you is not the same rule in another state.
Right.
So make sure you educate yourself before making like comments like that.
Yes. Stand your ground is different here. Some states don't even have it. A stand your ground law.
It's just, there's no words. I don't have any words. I think it's just cruel. It's cruel. That poor child, what he's had to experience, go through. The worst thing for me is that he cannot express what he's been through right now. For me, that's the worst thing. He is stuck in an environment that he cannot speak freely. He cannot show emotion. He cannot show him to be weak. And what does that do to a child? Like,
no, my son did not have prior arrest and charges or anything. No. Alabama is so sad for real. Praying for yourself. Thank you, Casey. Yeah. But no, every state's different. So I hate when people do that. I really do. As if I have not researched every possible thing that I could.
Somebody said, what is the predicted outcome of this? Sorry, I'm British and I'm desperate to learn.
What is the what? I'm sorry.
The predicted outcome. So what
we don't ain't even got the first clue. Nope. I hope that it does not ever go to trial. And at some point, the new attorneys are just like, hi, Ryan, y'all are insane. He's been in there too long. This needs to be dealt with. Time served in whatever way it can be. Stand your ground. I don't care what it is. Poof, he goes home. But will that happen? I don't know. We have no idea. No, we have raised the funds here, Roger, to get private attorneys finally, because he had court-appointed attorneys that were not doing anything at all for him. Right, Cody. People are stupid.
Very.
Ooh, I sure hope so, Handbird, but we're not worried about that right now.
And the more awareness we can raise about this, the more chances of Bug coming home. So.
Right, Roger. And we knew that. We knew it had to be a private attorney. No plea deals, no nothing, Lisa, no. No talk of anything except for nothing. So someone else. What? What is that word? Is that even a word? So someone else. Or her.
Can we get Kim K involved? Not even joking.
And muted. A lot of people have been tagging Kim Kardashian. Of course, she's never reached out, but hello, we've been okay. How are you?
Somebody said they're treating him as if they already took it to trial. I don't like this at all.
Right. Yeah, they are. They do what they want to do.
They make the rules as they go. I'm sure of it.
So the new attorneys have filed some motions and been to visit Bug twice. But as far as right now, we still have a court date in July, which is just a status hearing. So it's basically nothing. It'll last about 5 seconds and everybody will leave. But unless something happens from the motions, we may possibly go back to court. We don't know. I wanted the first thing to be done is the Capitol to go away and another bond hearing to at least bring him home to get his education. I don't care if he has to wear an ankle monitor, go to work, and, until we can deal with the rest. Almost 2 years, Roger. He was 17 when it happened. He's almost 19 now. Thank you so much for the prayers. I know, Ryan, it's crazy.
SB said, I'm going to send them the damn laws to show them that we have federal rights to a speedy trial. I mean, if you know anything about starting a petition that we can get signatures on to get it down from capital to just M, please let us know.
Yes, yes, I will take all the messages, all the things.
Because I'm sure you would have thousands of signatures on that damn thing.
Yeah. No, I have not talked to the prosecutor. That would not be a good idea. No. I would not be allowed to do that. Hi, Rhonda.
What's the difference from M to capital? See, I think Casey can explain it better. I think it's capital is when there's other people involved whilst the act is
so capital can either be someone committing a felony while they're unaliving someone, or in Bug's case, the person who was unalived had a biological child under the age of 14 in the vicinity with them that day. Even though they were in a car in a parking lot because their parents left them there, they were still able to raise it to capital because of that. So the difference legally in capital, which makes no sense to me that they're even able to charge him with this, you only ask for capital if at some point during a trial you're going to ask for the unaliving penalty, and they cannot ever ask for that for Bug because he was 17. So how can you charge him with that if you can never use it against him?
Right.
Stupid.
Nicole.
No, nobody else got charged. Only Bug.
Nicole just asked, what happened to the woman whose the pew belonged to? Surely she had to be arrested as well.
No, absolutely nothing.
Quiet this entire time.
Yeah, she's been
terrified.
Yeah, she's been very quiet, but absolutely nothing has happened to her.
And we've asked numerous times.
We've asked numerous times for her to be charged with something. Child endangerment,
I was just going to
weapons,
say, neglect
weapons charge. She brought both of those weapons onto a government funded property. She brought her kids there to do that, left her kids in a car. I think she should be charged with the attempted unaliving of the person that he pew-pewed first.
And child neglect.
Unfortunately, yes, Roger. I know, Ryan. We've tried to have her charged, but everybody says that it would be up to the Athens City Police. They're not going to do it.
You just have to think as well, you were putting your children in such a dangerous situation, because however, if that had have moved to the parking lot and a stray from the pew would have gone into the car, your children were in danger.
Yes, and the fact that they left and then came back to do what they did with the children in the car, to me, is completely insane and should make them responsible to where they could not even up his charge, because it's not like he knew somebody's kids was there or anything, you know.
He didn't even know who he was.
Right. He had no clue who even he was. So, right. It should be self-defense because of that, but that's not how they looked at it.
Well, they didn't look at it like that because they didn't do any investigation.
Yeah, they didn't look at it at all, basically.
They only
Yes, they should have been. They took your comment out, but yes, they should have been charged with child endangerment. I agree. Or she should.
Minimum. Very minimum.
I know, Ryan. It's insane.
Is there evidence in terms of it being on film?
Yes.
Yes.
Everything is on film. Even them coming back and forth for the entire hour before the fight ever even started, while 911 and stuff was being called. Yes, all of that's recorded. Who was pew-pewed first? The uncle was pew-pewed first. Basically, Roger. Different videos from different people. Yes. But once the guy who was unalive started pew-pewing, it turns into chaos. I can still hear all the kids screaming in my freaking head. And then everybody disperses and runs.
Somebody says, is it film from the apartment cameras or is it phone?
No.
Like show?
No, unfortunately, the apartments did not have cameras.
Public defender or retained attorney. Casey has retained a new attorney.
Yes, we raised $10,300 here on TikTok to retain new attorneys and get him out from under the court-appointed attorneys from freaking Coleman, Alabama. Anybody on here who knows anything about Alabama would think it's completely insane that they went out from our county to get attorneys in Coleman, Alabama, and my child is a person of color. Roger, I don't know. He's very hopeful and definitely ready to fight, but he didn't really he talked about different outcomes, but of course, nobody can ever know what's actually going to happen. No, we haven't contacted the press because they're liars. They lied on us in the beginning. Brooke's here with me, by the way. They lied on us in the beginning after a court date, and we said right then that we would never talk to them because they're going to say whatever they want to say anyway, and they're going to lie. So we don't talk to them.
You got to remember, sometimes the media and the news will just say whatever to get you to read that article. It's clickbait.
Yep.
It's
Yes.
something for them.
Somebody has reached out to me and asked about us being interested in talking to somebody. What are they called?
Hi, my love.
It's kind of like the media or the press, but it's not like local, which is who we don't want to talk to. Yes, I'm very grateful to have Brooke.
How does the girlfriend feel during all of this going on?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Somebody's asking about the girlfriend. How does the girlfriend feel about all of this?
Well, number one, I think everybody should also remember that she also went through all of that trauma. She was there. She was outside. It was her family it was happening to. It was her boyfriend. She got maced by somebody from the other side, a grown woman. So she's been through a lot. But she's in college right now. She lived with us for a while after it happened. I say us, me. She lived with me for a while after it happened, but she's in college now. So, yeah, traumatized.
Somebody said you need this worldwide, not local, in a racist town. We need this everywhere. That's why I said to Casey, let's go live, because I've got people from so many different states on my TikTok and international as well. So it's to get it out there. And when Bug comes home, to stop this happening from somebody else's son as well.
Yes. That's why I want to make it a little bit big local, so they maybe won't do this to people in the future, but also it's not going to do any good here local. Everybody's like, go to this person, go to that person. It's not going to do any good. They're literally going to have me arrested for doing absolutely nothing, and then I would just not be able to do anything for Bug. So it needs to be everywhere. We're hoping to talk to somebody about that soon, but nobody's contacted me about that yet. I mean, I would like it to be Netflix, to be honest.
We need a petition, a girl said. Charge.org. Look it up. It's a valid petition sign-in website, and create one in Alabama. Okay.
I'll do it. You said change.org?
Yeah, it says change.org, and look up valid petition sign-in in Alabama.
Okay.
To get that would be the goal, because I think a lot more would move, wouldn't it, if the capital M was removed. Change.org, and then put it on your page. Yeah, for sure. We can do that. Yeah. You just need people who are 18 and citizens to sign.
Okay. I think like that is one of the new attorneys' goals too, is to get that capital gone. But then in another sense, he's like, I'm not worried about that charge, because if we go to trial, they have to prove it.
Right.
They can't. So let them keep it. They're not going to be able to do anything with it. Then the jury's just going to be like, good God, capital for this? Like, no. So then they might not get anything out of it. So he don't think it'll stick all the way through. But by the time we get ready to deal with it, it's going to be too late for it to have gone away. For my liking, I wish they would have never been able to do it at all, but here we are, because they can do what they want to do.
Somebody said, sorry for the deep question, but is death row, a punishment in Alabama.
We don't have that, do we?
He can't get.
Oh, he can't get that anyway because he was 17 at the time. But I don't think we have that in Alabama.
Oh, yes, we do.
Oh, we do. Okay. They can't ever ask for that for him because he was only 17. Which is why they should have never been able to charge him with capital, because that's what they use that for in the future, is to ask for that charge, or that whatever conviction, so that they can do that in court, but they can't do that to him.
And that's also why he's not, if I understand that correctly, bond isn't an option, because they put it as capital M instead of M, so that they can't give him a bond.
All intentional.
Yep, that was all intentional, and they stand by the fact that Limestone County has never allowed anyone bond with that charge, and that's just them trying to make themselves look good.
He said, we need the petition up for him to show the world is fighting the world versus Alabama.
Yeah, for real. Yes.
And somebody says, thank you for sharing your story and educating us too.
You're welcome. I'll share it from the rooftops. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but if he's 17, they could ask to try. Oh, they are trying him as an adult, Christy. It's okay. Yes, Rosie, I agree. Yeah, they are doing that. They had to do that to do the capital. Yeah.
Very sad. Want to give you a virtual hug from one mum to another.
I wish. The hug would probably break me, though. I'm one of those people that I could be just fine, but if somebody hugs me, I'll break down.
I'm like, ooh, you let it all out.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, everybody shares, go follow Casey, sharing everything, reposting, liking, commenting, all of that stuff. If you don't have any funds to donate, all of that stuff can help.
Yeah, so the Innocence Project only helps people who have been convicted that are innocent. My son hasn't been convicted of anything yet. So they can't do anything for us.
Somebody said you have other children.
I do. I have 2 older children than Bug. We had the exact situation happen with a cousin of mine after they asked for adult. It was CM. Yeah. Yeah, so I have a daughter who is 27 and a son who is 24. Yep. No trial date. They haven't even said the word trial at all.
Somebody said, I'm not familiar with the story of Life of Casey, so I've followed. It is on her page. I don't know if you want to go and just do a little stalky and then come back. That might be easier.
They're quick story times. Yeah, they're pinned on my page. Yeah.
Yeah, and then come back. I'll drop her a follow. Yeah, all the follows help. We're trying to get Casey to 20K. All the follows, the helps, the shares, the reposts, like I keep saying, all of that is being really helpful.
Yes. Emphasize with you and pray for you daily. It takes a lot of courage to strength. Thank you, Christy.
I don't mean to be rude as well by saying, oh, go and check out her pin before coming back, but it's easier than just keep repeating it all the time.
Yeah.
Go and come back.
That's what I usually tell people. Just run, watch the pin story time and come back, because it's really quick. God, it's so hard to understand, though, and people are like, you need to get somebody to help you tell this, because you do this and you do that when you're telling it. Guys, there's like 40 freaking people involved in this. And in the videos, there's like 25 to 30 people in the videos. And it's a lot to explain, because this one's baby mama, this one's cousins, uncles, babies, daddies. It's so much involved. They do help people currently incarcerated. It's called the Innocence Network. Most people just don't know. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they only help people who had been convicted. That's what all the research I've done says.
Yeah, and all the emails we've sent out.
Yeah, all the emails we've sent too.
No, I don't. I think someone muted you by accident. I've unmuted you. Somebody said, do you think racism played a factor with James? This is not about the James Broadnax situation in Texas. We're talking about Bug at the minute.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what that is.
But I don't know if you've seen it or read about it. James Broadnax was unalived by the Texas state for a crime that he didn't commit.
Oh God.
He was just put to.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I've just come in. Is he facing capital M? Good evening, Lauren. And yes, he is. Yeah, which it should never be capital M. It should never be anything other than self-defense. It's barbaric that he's been sat there for as long as he's been sat there with nothing going on. He's a child.
Yep.
Wish there had been
Your
more
board
about
away
it.
when you go live with somebody.
After all that.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way after working on those for an hour. Thank you for following.
Yeah, please go and follow, like, repost, share, all that good stuff. All of it helps getting it out there.
Why did it mute that comment? How long has your son been in jail already? Almost 2 years, Lauren. He was 17 when it happened. He's 19 now. Have all the witnesses given statements? Yes. Why is it blocking? It just blocked have all the witnesses given statements.
Somebody said, Lauren said he was 17. They need to look into Roper v. Simmons 2005.
Okay, don't know what that is.
I'll screenshot it.
Thank you, Gigi.
That, Lauren. What is Roper v. Simmons? Is that like a law or something? Or is it like another case that's similar to this? Or what is it? Oh, it's a case. Okay.
It's a case.
I'm gonna Google it.
I learn from people on here that I have no idea what's going on in the world sometimes because they talk about all kinds of cases and I'm like, oh, okay, I have no idea who that is.
And Miller versus Alabama.
That sounds interesting.
I'm going to put these in my notes. I've just screenshotted it so I can. And the petition is something that I'm going to have a look into as well. Because we've got enough people to share it around.
Yes.
It's about juvenile sentencing for under 18s. I just have no words for it. I think it's sick. Especially being European as well, I find it even harder. I find how it works out there is just barbaric.
Yep.
And it's just all about money. It's just all money.
I wonder, yeah, definitely all about money. I wonder how something like that would have been dealt with over there. Thank you so much.
Maybe you would have got life, but life over here is 15 years and you only serve half of that anyway. So we serve half of our sentences unless when you're convicted you're told that you have to serve over half, but that's very rare. At the moment in the UK, if you are sentenced to a year or less, you just get let go. We've got no room for anybody. So they're just like, oh yeah, bye, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, they blamed the court dockets being full here on like slow court dates and trials and stuff.
Lauren said, if you need any info, let me know and I'll send it in a message if it's too long to say. Lauren, message Casey so she can have a look at it afterwards.
So I can see it, yeah, because I don't even see her name. I wouldn't even know how to message her.
All the advice, everything like that is all welcome. I know Casey welcomes it. I know Casey's learned a lot on TikTok.
Thank you for the gifts.
But yeah, all gifts over that side, please, because it all goes to Bug.
Thank you.
In fact, I'll do one of these little battle things again so people can start sending you gifts. All gifts that way. It's literally not a battle like that. It's just to raise money.
Right.
We're not battling.
Thank you for the follow.
Wait, all the follows. Yeah, everybody I want to go and follow Casey. Casey's goal is 20k. So if we can post Casey on your story, ask people to go and follow, all that good stuff, please do that.
19,300. Oh, thank you.
It's free.
About kicked the whole stand over. Yeah, trying to get to 20k. And Brooke's buying us a cake. A 20k cake. I hope to catch it on lives. On live.
You're not even that far away. Come on, guys. We can get this done. First gift in 2 times
Thank
per
you
week.
for the follow, Mandy.
Means. And everybody that has followed, if you can go over there and repost one of Casey's videos to your stories, maybe, so that other people can see it and follow, that would be great. It literally takes 2 seconds. And the more that Casey's profile is shared, the more that TikTok will push her onto the algorithm. So that's what we need.
Yes, for sure.
And the
I do
more
not understand TikTok's algorithm. Y'all don't even get paid from TikTok, do you?
you do over 10K. So when you, if
Well,
you,
somewhere
you should
outside of
be
the
able
US.
to enter into the creator fund now, so that any of your videos over a minute long, you can be eligible for pay.
Okay, Lauren, you should follow me so I'll be able to see your message in my messages. Thank you for the links. I thought somebody somewhere said, I'll follow you back, said that somewhere outside the US don't get paid from TikTok. Maybe that was before somebody bought TikTok. Somebody else bought.
Australia doesn't. They don't get paid.
That might have been who it was.
Yeah, the Australians don't. I think we do. America does. But yeah, Australia doesn't, I don't think.
Got you. Hi, Lori. Thank you. It's okay.
I'll understand it later. Also, you can go to Etsy as well. If you want to buy merch, the Free Bug t-shirts, if you go on Etsy and search Free Bug, they will come up. And
yeah, we have bracelets too. Car
So go check that
fresheners
out.
and some kind of stickers. Yeah, my daughter set that up for us.
So go and check that out. I'll put the link to the Etsy in my link tree as well in my bio, so you can find it from there as well. But do all the things. The more people that hear about this, the better. The more
Yes, that's the
pressure.
most important part. Yes, is the most important part is getting his story out, for sure.
The more eyes on Alabama, the better. The more pressure, the better. I'm barking.
What kind of dogs do you have?
They are bully. I brought them back from America with me. They're little bullies. My friend has come in the front door. That's why they're barking.
Brooke, where I'm at right now, Brooke has 2 little pugs.
I love dogs. But Casey, I'm going to have to jump down just for a little bit. I can come back with you in a little while. But my friend is here that I completely forgot that was coming. It's just
you're good.
About to come in the
Good.
door.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to jump down, guys. But I guess Casey, we will stay live, so you can go and join Casey's live anyway, and then maybe later I'll jump back on. But for the time being, go over there. Thank you.
Thank you.